Hello! Part the second of the Let's Draw and Let's Ramble now. I'm listening to something else. And also I'm drinking some tea. Well, I have drunk it just before I turned the camera on, so I don't have to drink it while I'm drawing. So that's a few seconds of me drinking tea that you won't have to see. I know you're very sad about this. Where is my hot tea drinking comic artist action? I wanted to have my hot tea drinking comic artist action. No, you won't have it here. This is a kid-friendly channel. That's the guy who just explained how to say fuck in German. That was in the previous video. Go check it out. Because I intend to continue the ramble. I continued the last time. I was talking about colors. I've seen some epically bad use of color. European comics are pretty much always in color. Kind of a tradition. And sometimes I just think it's not very well done. In one case I've seen recoloring. There was a recolor of an old comic and think, oh man, this is great. Finally I get a chance to have a proper copy of this old comic. And it's called Barbe Rouge, which means red beard. It's a pirate captain. It's a 60s comic, adventure comic, with pretty realistic art. And yeah, it's not bad at all, except that the recoloring was completely done by computer, on a computer by somebody who is colorblind. And the amusing consequence, I mean, the crap consequence is that the colors were all very ugly. You could have one panel where the sea is green and the next panel the sea is blue and the next panel the sea is yellow. And then you have some more amusing things like, okay, the original Redbeard, he has a red shirt. What is his color now? It's pink. Because we're a man, we're pink. No, it's just, you have this terrifying pirate of the 7th seas and he's suddenly wearing a pink shirt. You shouldn't do that, man. I mean, he has orange hair. Pink and orange just doesn't go well together. Okay. Yeah, that's not really the reason. It's well, yes, it is. It doesn't go well together. It's almost as if pirates had a very bad taste. And all the colors were very flat. And yeah, I said in the previous video, I'm using black and white to give it a little more depth. So flat colors, I don't know. Well used, it can be good. I mean, Tintin is very good looking. It's a very good looking comic. Yeah, you should read it, by the way. Go read it now. If you haven't read it, you're lacking some important culture. Yeah. There's a guy who haven't watched about all of the movies, all the movies that didn't come out this year. But the last movie that I saw, I don't want to see movies ever again, essentially. Okay, it was a month before, I hated the movie, I hated it. It was a very good movie, by the way, but I hated it. The critics loved it. And I said, it was a good movie, but I hated it. Sunday You Will Die? Is that the English title? I don't know. Am Sonntag wirst du sterben. And it's about an Irish priest, and he's in a village and somebody wants to kill him because he had been, well, let's say the word, he was read by a priest. Yay. And everybody in the village where this priest is living is the most insufferable, awful person in the world, and essentially you're just watching horrible persons being very horrible and unfriendly. And at the end he dies, so gave it away for you. So I'm not even gonna say it's a spoiler. It's the first thing they say in the movie, and it's not even the fact that he dies. It's just you spend so much time with such awful people. You're feeling really angry at the end. I wasn't even angry because the protagonist died, even though he was pretty much the only person that was an insufferable a-hole. On the other hand, well, it is explained that he had problems with alcoholism and a past that was pretty there. So he used to be an a-hole. So the only person who isn't an a-hole is the one person that was an a-hole. And, oh god. Movies. Screw them. You're just forced to watch something for 2 hours in a black room with other people that smell, and you can't go to the loo when you need to go. It's just screw that. I have a TV. I use the TV. It's just better. Okay, there are ads, but you can go to the loo while the ad is playing. You can make yourself a nice little cup of tea, and you can talk about the movie with the other persons in the room while there are some ads. I'd like to point out that there aren't as many ads here than there are in America. I mean, once I've realized how many, oh my god, when you're looking at American series, they kind of plan the moments where the ads will come and it will cut short. And it's just so often. This is horrible. Yeah, I didn't watch many American series, but I do have to admit, I prefer reading comics and playing video games. Oh yeah, let's talk a bit about this comic. So, our protagonist wants to build a nice little underground lair, because she's a mad scientist. Wouldn't you want to have an underground lair? And yeah, she turned herself into an armadillo. And the line here wasn't right. When you do a tiny little mistake, you don't always have to redraw everything. Sometimes you just make the line a little thicker. So, and to continue with the plot. Hijinks ensues. That is my plot. Okay, nearing the end here. It's almost as if a pile of rubble and dirt wasn't that hard to draw. Of course, in an American comic it would probably be extremely detailed and for no reason at all. I think most of the problems with American comics comes from the fact that there is no communication between the scenarist and the drawer. Because you get some extremely stupid stories that are extremely well illustrated and well drawn. Like the biggest waste of talent ever. And that makes me feel sad. Because talent is not something you should waste on shit stories. Yeah, and the last Batman I've read, I did laugh a bit because it was taking itself so goddamn seriously. Uh, I kind of have a problem with stories taking themselves too seriously. Oh yeah, that's good. So now the comic book fans will also don't like me now because I said I found Batman takes itself too seriously. Great. I think the most hilarious thing I've heard was that Batman isn't supposed to smile. It was a person who was telling me that he preferred the current batch of well, I say current. I'm probably going to do a remake any day now. And the Christopher Nolan movies, yes, the Batman. And he preferred these because Batman doesn't smile in them. Okay, as Bruce Wayne he does, but yeah, but not that Batman because Batman is always super serious. And so the Tim Burton movies, sometimes you see Batman smiling. And that's bad because Batman isn't supposed to smile. And that was a horrible reason to prefer the old Batman. Why you're preferring this version of the character because he's unable to feel happiness? That is horrible. Stop being like this. What about happiness? Happiness is not a bad thing, you know. I think it's okay if people are happy in their lives. I genuinely believe that happiness is kind of good. Don't you? Yes. I know it's very controversial to say something like this, but I'm trying to make a happy comic. I mean, you can have some more somber moments. But yeah, comics taking themselves super seriously. Artists being wasted. And it's impossible to get in anyway. No, seriously, it's ridiculous. It's my local X Comics store, which is where they're selling comics, obviously. And the guy who sells stuff there, he showed me the catalog of comics for the month. It's several centimeters thick, and it only features Marvel. And then you add the others, and you have such huge piles of comic books. It's impossible. Just forget it. You can't get in. That's all. And once you're in, I suppose there is nothing else you can do because there is just so much to read. If you want to keep up with everything, you have to just do only that in your life. And I don't think that's a good thing. I think one of my favorite comics was the old how is it called again? La la la. I have a very efficient brain when it comes to remembering stuff. Yes, I know. Right, let's forget it. The Hulk. Yeah, because when you look the old Hulks, they don't take themselves seriously at all, and it was a very charmful comic. I don't know how the modern ones are. Okay, here I'm just having fun, by the way. Essentially, well, they're digging for the underground layer, and then one of the characters just pops up from underground. And so, of course, I have to make him as... I have to give him the most nightmarish face I can. Because, of course, I do have to. Yeah, I'll just finish this panel and yeah, I'll make 2 videos of it. Probably will take about 5 months to upload the second part, because I think it's a bit longer now. Oop. Careful. I think the good thing about European comics is much easier to get into, because in most cases one book is one story. But even then, there is a huge crisis going on there too. So you have kind of the market. You have only a few things really selling well, and there isn't much room left for originality. Essentially, if you want to publish something, your best bet is to get popular on the internet, and then when you start making money with this, you will have somebody coming in, and I mean the publisher, they will say, hey, this guy is making money with this, we want to make money with this too. And they will come and ask you if they can make money with your stuff too, because they see you're making money and they want some of this cake too. And yeah, that's pretty much the only way to get a comic published. There you go, top tips. So let's end this comic on this face. Adventure.